From the creators who brought you RuPaul's Drag Race and $1 Million Listing, this is World of Wonder's Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the highly anticipated, much talked about, much reviewed Wow Report. I'm your host, Benton Bailey, co-founder of World of Wonder. I'm thrilled to be here with you, with my besties, Tom Campbell, our Chief Creative Officer.
How do you do?
And literary sensation, James St. James.
That's me.
And Blake is here too, of course.
Always lurking. Always lurking.
All right. So let's start, right? Number 10. What made us go wow most this week?
Number 10.
I've got a theme this week, and it's 3 simple letters that spell out joy. J-O-Y. I'm going to talk about 3 things that are bringing me high levels of joy. And I'm starting with the podcast that I've heard a lot about, but I haven't listened to till now. And I'm listening to every single one. Wiser Than Me is Juliet Dreyfus's podcast, I love her so much. We all do. And you're going to love her more. You know, it's impossible to think you could love her more. You're going to listen to this podcast and you're going to love her more. She speaks to women who are older and wiser than her. And she has merch. I started listening. The minute I heard there was merch, I went and looked at the merch while I was listening. And the best thing, and we have to get this, it's a t-shirt that says, "Listen to older women, motherfucker." So that kind of sums it up. The 2 I've heard, my friend Greg gets full credit. I'm late to this podcast. It's in its 3rd season. I'm late to podcasts in general. I need them because like when you find a voice like Julia Dreyfus, who's so bright, so funny. And my friend Greg, who came to visit me when I was in New Hampshire, which I'm talking about later, he said, let's listen. There's one, the new one is with Julie Andrews.
Julia.
But she's the classiest woman without being fake, without being phony, she just has so much wisdom and kindness and the perspective. And one of the many things she talked about was her long-lasting friendship to Cara Burnett, which endures. It's an old story, but now it's this old, incredible story. This like 60-year story of a friendship. They met when they were on Broadway. Cara was in Once Upon a Mattress and Julia was in Camelot. And they met and became best friends. They have all this background because they both come from alcoholic families, whatever. So that was amazing. So this morning, I woke up in a bad mood because that's my natural state. And I thought, I'm going to listen to my joy place. I'm going to go listen to Wiser Than Me by Julia Dreyfus. And I have 3 seasons to pick from. So I started at one of my favorite topics, Cara Burnett. And the loose format is that Julia starts off sort of talking about a topic, just very casually and realistically. And she just talked about laughter. And it got me, and I have to tell you, it's like Julia Dreyfus is me. I am her. We're best friends. Is in my head right now because I think I've told you this, but the proof of the existence to God for me is through laughter and music. That's when I feel connected. You know, my family. The one thing we all have the sixth sense of humor, and there's a picture of us on our front porch. My mom and dad and brother and sister, and we're all. And it must have been a self-timed camera of my sisters, and we're all just spontaneously laughing. And I'm like. It brings tears to my eyes because to laugh at the same thing means you are connected. You are Bluetooth. You are one. You are. And so she talks about that. And then Julia talks about how she is famous. And if you go to YouTube, you can see them. She always would be the breakup in Seinfeld and Veep. There's all these long speeches, and then she just bursts into laughter. And if you just need a laughter attack, go into YouTube and just look at Julia Louis-Dreyfus outtakes. But Cara Burnett was just her longevity. Julia said, "How old do you feel?" And she goes, "You mind me telling how old you are?" She says, "I don't mind at all." She goes, "You're 90 years old." And she goes, "How old do you feel, Carol?" And Carol said, 11. It's brilliant because we know that feeling. Carol, who's very big into Wordle, said that she read an article in the New York Times that 90 is the new 60. And it's kind of true. Right. So I don't know. I can go through the whole thing. And she talked about 2 people that gave her, were her mentors. One was Gary Moore of the Gary Moore Show, which was a big variety show in the late 50s before our time, but that he was so generous. And they would go to rehearsals, and he was a huge star, and a joke would come down, and he would have it, and he'd be the one, he'd say, "You know what? Give that one to Carol."
I do want to say that it's a long-standing story in our family that we all got on the elevator at the Contemporary Hotel in Disney World one time when I was very little, and Julie Andrews got on and was swearing like a sailor and dropping F-bombs left and right. And my family has never, my father, I don't like that woman. She swears like a sailor. So
what was he swearing about?
She was just like F the service here and F this and F that, and the food was F and this and that and da da da. And she was like screaming about the Contemporary Hotel.
All right. Well, let's move on. Tom, what's the name of the podcast?
It's called Wisely by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And I just want to say the last bit is she calls her mother at the end, who's also in her 90s, to recap the episode. So you have another dose of
Julie Andrews' mother is still alive and she's the same age?
Julia Louis-Dreyfus, whose podcast we're talking about. I might have to walk off the show. I might just to protect my joy. I'm gonna have to please listen to Wiser Than Me. I'm gonna listen to every episode. I mean it. And there's so much insight that I was unable to relay in this segment.
I thought you did an excellent
joy
job.
Connects you to God because crankiness connects me to Satan.
Number 9.
Number 9, there was a new episode of South Park that dropped this week, and they are just firing on all 4 cylinders. They are so funny right now. It's so funny that a show that is this far into its run has reinvented itself and is more relevant than ever. Last week, of course, they made fun of Kristi Noem and JD Vance and Mar-a-Lago. This week, I'm just going to give you the quick rundown because Randy's pot farm has been invaded by ICE and they've arrested all the workers. And so he becomes addicted to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT tells him to rebrand his company. And so there's this whole rebranding thing. And it suggests that he starts microdosing ketamine. And they be like every 3 minutes they're microdosing and they keep falling into K-holes. And it's him and Towley, who is the drug addicted Towel from years and years and years ago. And so the ChatGPT suggests that they go talk to Donald Trump about getting the pot laws changed. And they go to DC. The Towley goes to DC and is completely taken over by the National Guard, and it's absolutely hysterical. And at the White House, Trump is sitting there, and there's this long line out the White House of billionaire businessmen who are all bringing gold to Donald Trump, and they all sit down and they have to say, "Sir, you don't have a micro penis, and here's your gold." And so they keep giving him golden gifts. And Satan, meanwhile, is talking to ChatGPT about how to leave Trump. So it's all it is so like everything that you can tell that it was written yesterday. Like everything about it has to do with what's going on this week. And then of course JD Vance, who is like Tattoo from Fantasy Island, comes on, and they keep having these AI commercials for Randy's rebranded tech industry thing, and the AI commercials just keep getting crazier and crazier and crazier.
I mean, it is joyful, isn't it? I mean, because it is the laughter. Tom's theory is right.
We need it.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's move on to number 8.
Number 8.
New Heights. Have you heard of the podcast New Heights?
No, tell us.
It's Jason and Travis Kelce.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And they had a special guest on. Guess who?
Well, could it be?
Julie Andrews? No,
Taylor Swift. Oh my gosh. Like, I know I was a little mixed. I've had mixed feelings about Taylor over the years. I worship her genius, but I've, sometimes been a bit grumpy and felt she could do a bit more in terms of stating where she stands and in terms of the politics and things. And then just a little bit anxious sometimes on the Eras tour, looking around the audience thinking, oh my gosh, it's just MAGA moms and their kids. But leaving all that aside, it was such an intimate insight. These 3 people know each other really well. Obviously, Taylor and Travis are boyfriends, and Jason and Travis are brothers. And it just felt like you were with them in their room, hanging out, the banter, the love, the snarkiness between the brothers. It's a joy. It's 2 hours long, but I cannot recommend it enough. I foolishly listened to the audio And now I'm going to go back and watch the video. And this, I think,
going into it though, because I'm not big fans of Jason and Travis. But do you? And are they likable?
Very likable. I mean, I can be less interested in sports,
right?
And sort of also thought they were too sort of big and burly for me to be drawn to.
A little bro-y sort of to me, but yes,
not really. I mean, honestly, just you cannot but feel not just the love between Travis and Taylor, but the love between Jason and Travis. It's a real eye-opening insight and such a joy. And so many things to talk about this particular podcast. 2 hours long. Now, I do want to talk about the fact that for YouTube, I just think this is something for all of us to take note of. 13 million views on YouTube, right? That was within 24 hours. Crazy. But it's also, and they got 400,000 new subscribers to their YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. And it's the record for YouTube having a podcast. It is the most watched thing on YouTube that is a podcast. And to me,
they broke our record.
Where's Night Fever on this?
Yeah, left us in the dust, I gotta say. It's really interesting to me that podcasts and YouTube, you would think that they would not go together, but actually, not only do they go together, this is probably the future of television, streaming, storytelling. But clearly, our mistake has been not having Taylor Swift on. So as soon as we remedy that,
yes,
problem solved.
And honestly, she was so delightful. I mean, clearly, she's a mastermind. I mean, one of the most fascinating things is she talks about her obsession with numerology and Easter eggs. And this is someone who leaves no detail to chance. And in fact, in the wake of the podcast, so many little spin-off Instagrams and videos about what the Easter eggs were. I'll just give you one, which she said, I'm spending 60% of my time thinking about sourdough. And for some reason that I cannot recall, 60% is significant, but sourdough is significant because why? Who is the mascot of the San Francisco 49ers?
Sourdough?
Sourdough Sam. And when she says 60% of her time, the next Super Bowl is the 60th. Super Bowl 60. Moreover, she said in the podcast, she was so grateful to fans for applauding 47 seconds at a past show. Not any past show, the past show in the Eras Tour that she did at Levi's Stadium, which is where the 60th Super Bowl will be held. And one last thing, the 47th stop on the Eras Tour was what? It was when she played at Levi's Stadium in San Francisco. And Taylor is obsessed with numerology. Nothing is left to chance. She also, bearing the headline here, she announced her new album, which is her 12th album, which will be released on the 3rd of October. 10 plus 3 equals 13. She is obsessed with the number 13. She even talks about it in the podcast. Do you know the word for obsession with the number 13, James?
Triskaidekaphobia.
Ah, you got it. Yes. No, philia, not phobia. Philia. She loves it. She loves it. And this is her 12th album.
And can I just say, just to be the grumpy voice of 9:30 in the morning here, it is, by all accounts on X and Instagram right now, the ugliest album cover of all time. It looks like something.
That's such a great story. Okay, James. The end of every Eras Tour, except for the very last show. In the very last show, she did something she'd never done before.
13th show of October?
She walked through an orange door. That was the only time she did it. The album color is orange. Orange is her favorite color. Like someone else we know. Yes. He
sounds like a goofball to me.
And she walked through this door because the album is called The Life of a Showgirl. And as she explains on the podcast, it's all about her time in the Eras Tour, backstage, Life of a Showgirl. I mean, this girl, she thinks.
And it's a tarot card hooey to me.
From the man who believes in ETs and lizard people and
James, are you new? Like, this is all the Swifties have been doing for years and years and years. Reading into
I did
everything
not
you
know
said.
that the Swifties were a bunch of tarot card reading, numerology.
Yeah, they are Q.
Well,
They
is
are,
she a
but I think-
Virgo? Because this sounds like Virgo silliness to me.
Let's give her due, which is that in the world of how do you engage people's attention, to be able to build your own conspiracy theories, via all these Easter eggs and create that engagement. I'm sorry.
Miss Cleo and Dionne Warwick walk, so Taylor Swift.
I was gonna say this is some Miss Cleo-esque silliness.
Oh, good Lord. I could talk about this podcast. And I cried because she talks about getting her master's back, and it is a beautiful story that her mom. I think you must listen to James. Listen to it. It'll just make you feel.
I don't have 2 hours of my life to give to a podcast.
Oh,
I just want to say, with all due respect to our great president, I love Taylor Swift.
Yes. Well, that if for no other reason, exactly. Look, we're going to take a quick break. Slasion Royale, episode 1 is out now on Wow Presents Plus. It is doing enormously well. You have to see it. It's an incredible show, and we got 2 after shows with it. Fashion Photo Review with Raja and Raven, and Binge Queens. So check that all out on Wow Presents Plus. Blake, do you have a question?
I do. I watched this really good Netflix show. It is called Building the Band. And it's where they it's kind of a mix between Love is Blonde and The Voice, where Love is Blonde, they're in the pods and then they live together and then they get married. This is they're in the pods and they meet each other, then they form a band and then they perform and stuff. And Nicole Scherzinger and Kelly Rowland and the late Liam Payne are the judges. And it
One Direction, Pussycat Dolls, and
Destiny's Child.
Destiny's Child. Was that your question?
No.
No!
My question is
TikTok, let's get on with it.
I know. Does this train have a caboose?
How dare you? Question is, what place did One Direction place in X Factor?
Oh, that is a good one.
We'll have the answer for you right after the break here on the Wow Report on Radio Andy.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome back to the Wow Report. Fenton here with Tom and James and Blake.
And I asked, what place did One Direction place on X Factor?
I'm going to stick with 13 because it seems to be important to Taylor Swift.
I'm going to say 5th place.
I'm going to say not first place. They lost.
Third. They were in 3rd place.
Interesting. Well, Fenton said 1, and you say 3, which is 13, which actually is the numerology for October.
Well, he said
Color
13, and if you minus 10 from that, it's the actual answer.
There you go. Yep, you knock off 10. That's right. We are counting down the top 10 things of the week that made us go wow. We've reached number 7.
Number 7.
I'm going to tell a personal story and stretch the premise of our show a little bit because this is a thing this week that made me go, ow.
Ow.
As you know, I was making no secret of it, but I have bought a little slice of heaven, a little cottage near my family cottage in New Hampshire. I am a homeowner for the first time in 62
Congratulations.
years.
Yes.
I have had dead trees cut down. I have had gardeners come in. I have had, all these things done. And my brother and sister helping me tremendously. I got to see my high school friends, which is just so beautiful. And if I have time, I'll talk about that. But on Sunday, I came back on Monday. On Sunday, I had one more thing to do. The gutters, the things you never think about when you're a renter, the gutters of the cottage were filled. They were gardens. They were more like flower boxes than they were the things that would carry water away. And when a rain would come, the water would just flow over straight, like splat down onto the ground. It wouldn't. So my brother, who's very good at this stuff and a little pushy, but I appreciate him, was like, you need this place power washed. And let's try to get the guy to power wash the gutters, like the miracle of power washing, man. Like everyone should have a power washer. Just like walk around with it. Forget about like an NRA power washer.
I have one.
Well, we should have it strapped onto you right now. So the gentleman who I love, and I'm not making fun of, he shows up, and you're trying to think like, well, I hope we get him on the roof. I hope we get him to do the gutters. He shows up, and he says, first thing he says, lovely guy, and very busy and very employed. He says, I'm getting my hip replaced on Thursday. So it's like, well, suddenly I went from like, I hope I can convince him to do stuff to like, I will take care of you. So I'm like, okay, no problem. Whatever you can do is fine. It's all chipping away at the problem. And I'm running back. He's a big truck with tanks and solution tanks and water tanks. And he needs a bucket. I run back and get a bucket. I run back and get him. He needs a ladder. I run to the truck and get a ladder. I am the best assistant power washer you've ever seen.
For him now. Yes, quit your job and go work for the power.
I feel it. I'm learning things. I'm asking questions as he's doing. He's like, green moss, black mold. I'm like, yeah, it's good to know. And I'm like, what about that stuff in the room? He goes, I just sprayed it with solution. It's going to come down the next rain. So he, encouraged by me, I guess, is encouraged to do the gutters. So we're doing ladders. I'm holding the ladders. He's sprouting the ladders. We are a team. We're making beautiful music together. We get to the back of the house. I'm stuffing rocks under one side of a ladder to keep it flatter. And then I'm just there, just minding my own business. And for the first time in my life, I'm like, ow. And then, ow, 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 ow. Like I was being stabbed to death. We had come across accidentally on the ground, which is where they live, a yellow jacket wasp.
Oh, see, now I thought because it's New Hampshire and Bar Harbor, I thought you were talking about white Anglo-Saxon Protestants.
Well, they were around too, Johnny. I had to deal with them on the big one. I probably had 20 bites.
Ooh, doesn't that get dangerous? Can't you
Well, because I don't know what's going on. It's just like one tick, and then it's like a death of 1,000 stabs. And then he says, wasps. And so I run away. I'm supposed to keep him alive. I run away down this little country road street, and they're not coming off. And I'm screaming, ah. I mean, it's one of those things that you are not being performative. You are absolutely like, ah. Yes. And then I stop and I turn and I go, Amy. And my sister comes toward me, and I take out my wallet, my phone, and I jump in the water. But still, and they stopped. But still, you had to take them off of you. And then my brother comes out and goes, if I wasn't on a call, I would have taped that. That was hilarious. I'm like, I'm not in, let's have a funny take on this yet.
And he said, insert Benny Hill music.
Yes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get because I know joy's the theme, and I'm wondering where that comes into being stung to death. But maybe it is your brother had a good laugh.
Being in New Hampshire was a joy. And this was just a little thing. So anyway, I come back. My sister runs to my little tiny cottage, and she gets this thing that she has it's a suction cup that you can suck the venom out of sores. I immediately Google, and then it says take a shower, use soap. So I do all that. Amy sucks the venoms out. My brother again tells the story. It's like, not yet. And then we go back to the guy in front of the house. My brother started taking care of him, and he got stung on the lip, and it's getting bigger and bigger.
Oh,
and
yeah, I was gonna say, sure.
He's getting his hip done on Thursday. He has no fear, but at one point he's like, oh, like your skin's gonna break. So we gave him a Benadryl, and it went down. But we bonded so deeply. When you're in the wilderness, it's like all this, like it's you and the animals, and it's like you can't really have them doing that. But that just was the amazing kind of fun end, and I wasn't bad. We checked on him the next day. He was okay. We're all okay, thank God. But man, nature takes care of itself.
I have 3 questions.
Yes.
Did you know that you'd stepped on the nest? Like, how did you?
No idea. No idea.
Question 2 is, wasps are different to yellow jackets, or are they the same thing?
They're different because there's white wasps and yellow. I have to Google it to know, but they are different things. And different like bees are up high, wasps are in the ground, so you don't really see them. And this is the last little footnote, which is I went to see I saw a bunch of high school friends, Terry, Jody, Kirk, Gail, Clyde, and his wife in Newport. And then it just turns out that my friend Joyce, who has this beautiful place on Lake Winnipesaukee, which is like she's next to like Adam Sandler's place or something. And she and Susan and Mary were all together. And we were together. I brought my friend Greg, who was visiting, and they made us dinner, and we had the most luxurious kind of who's the woman who does the movies? Nancy Meyer kind of movie kind of moment. And for a minute, and this is just me being not self-centered for a second. It's like, I thought, oh, these three women who are incredible women, Mary, Susan, and Joyce, it's like they've been friends all these years, and here I am just sort of tapping into it. And they said, oh no. They said, when we were raising our kids, we were all living separate lives. You go, just at this stage in our lives, are we able to spend weekends together, hang out? And so it reinforced my reconnection with my homeland a little bit. And the idea that my lifelong friends, I was at kindergarten through 12th grade with these people, are still there. And there's a new chapter to be had. And that is the joy part. Thank you very much.
That's beautiful, beautiful. James, number 6.
Number 6.
I watched the series finale of And Just Like That. And when I say it was a literal shit show of humongous proportions, I say that figuratively and literally. The idea of the show itself, And Just Like That was a cliche. It was a trope that Sex and the City used whenever she got to her computer at the end, and she'd say, and just like that, we discovered that friendship was more important. And it was always some silly thing. So the fact that it started on this annoying trope, and every single character from the very beginning got their DEI woke new best friend, and it was so condescending and ridiculous. Nothing against the women, the actresses themselves who played these characters, but each character was more cliched and silly than the last one. And it had that from the very beginning with Che Diaz, who was just wrong. Everything about this show was bad. And without the genius of Samantha and without the genius of Pat Field, it was just doomed from the very beginning. Did you watch it? Either of you?
I want to know, how did they end it? Give us some.
The thing is they had to come up with Michael Patrick King and Sarah Jessica Parker have been on this, going to all of the press and everything, saying it's been planned all along, and we went out on this big it was fat. Well, no, the series was canceled, and they've had to save face by saying we planned it all along to end like this. This was actually just the season finale that they're now trying to pretend was for the whole year they've been planning this, and they were blindsided, and so they're trying to put a good face on it. But it doesn't really end with any big magical realizations or anything like that. Everybody just sort of is going their own way, and it's just everyone is happy because it's a season finale.
I did watch the last 2 episodes with my sister and my friend Greg at my cottage.
Yes, and
I chose not to talk about it because I think Sarah Jessica Parker's best friend is a guy named Andy Cohen.
But no, once again, this has nothing to do with the actresses on the show. It is because they are all beloved. We love them all, and like I said, each of the new characters that were brought on are gorgeous, fantastic, talented people, and there's nobody on the planet more talented than Sarah Jessica. So I'm just saying that.
And it says 2 things to me. Reboots are a lot harder than you think. They're very easy to greenlight. They're very easy to get behind. They're very easy to market, but they're really hard to say something relevant with characters created an era.
Yeah,
that City owns the early aughts. The other thing, again, and we live in a meta world, or the multi-screen world, the recaps on Vulture, written by a woman named Maggie Fremont. If you have the time, read them all. Her analysis, her reboot, and it's not mean. It's just because there are such contradictions. Because there are these moments, they always dangle these moments where you're like, oh yes, it's Sex and the City, it's what I love, and then it's followed by human waste coming out of a toilet. It's like which literally happened.
Well, I want to pick up on the human waste thing. Was an actual? You said it was actually shitty.
Yes, there's actually. First of all, in the very beginning, there's a guy peeing in the toilet, and it's. Yes,
2 people peeing, standing and peeing.
There's 2 peas, and then there's a poo, and there's a girl who she's lactose intolerant, and she keeps running to the bathroom every few minutes during Thanksgiving, and she ends up clogging the toilet.
Her name was Epcot. The character's name was Epcot because the family were Disney.
She's this woke character named Epcot, and she keeps running to the bathroom, and she clogs up the toilet. Sarah's date goes in and flushes the toilet, and all this poop starts coming out, and there's poop everywhere.
Okay.
Miranda has to go in.
We're going to end this because I want to end this on my poop analysis. May I have the last word here? They're saying there was a cheese plate, and they said that Epcot was lactose intolerant, so she had to constantly excuse herself because she couldn't avoid the cheese. I know the feeling, and she had to use the bathroom. Now, as someone who has been who has experienced lactose intolerance at different times in my life because of medications and things. It doesn't come out like Friendly Logs. It comes out as a mud pie of poop. And
you are just pushing all of Fenton's buttons right here. He's gonna hang it. We're gonna stop, and he's gonna run and watch the episode. He's so excited now.
The regurgitation, the backup was all like it was Baby Ruth bars from Caddyshack. And no,
it was perfectly formed pooplet.
Yes. And it's not lactose intolerant reaction to cheese. Thank you. And
all right. Well, thank you for that. And just like that that's that. But just like that. Number 5. Have you seen & Juliet? Tom?
Yes, on Broadway.
Oh, good. James?
I don't even know what this is.
& Juliet is a jukebox musical. I would say the very best jukebox musical ever made. And in fact, I talked about it thanks to Blake creating a master list of all the episodes we've done and all the things we talked about on the show. I was able to go back and see that in November of 2019, we talked about & Juliet.
Yes, I remember it well.
How could you forget? Mm-hmm. And since then, the show opened in the West End. That was the opening night. Since then, it has gone on tour, and it is here in LA at the Amundsen until I think the end of the first week in September. James, you must go and see it. Here's the premise. 2 things. 1, a jukebox musical, all the hit songs, not all, because actually Max Martin has had hundreds, well, not hundreds, very many number
ones. Millions, billions.
Very number 1 singles. It's many of his greatest hits. Taylor Swift, Blank Space, Britney, Oops, I Did It Again, Crazy, Ariana, Kellyanne Clarkson, Since You've Been Gone, Katy Perry, Raw.
The concept of jukebox musicals are a little hackneyed and don't take much.
All right, fair enough. Second point about this is & Juliet is from Romeo and Juliet. Sure. It is a reimagining of what happens at the end of Romeo and Juliet. Because the premise at the end of Shakespeare kills them both off. They both die tragically. In this play, Shakespeare's wife is like, I am fed up of just being out of the picture, raising the kids. I want to change the ending. And they have throughout this show, this struggle back and forth as they rewrite, or rather write a sequel in which Juliet does not die. She wakes up, having taken a sleeping potion, and decides, well, you know, that's great. I'm going to live my life now. I'm going to go to Paris, fall in love. I never really liked Romeo. Romeo was unfaithful and slept around with lots of people. And then, of course, Will Shakespeare gets angry at this somewhat feminist, empowered version, and he has Romeo come back to life. He too just isn't dead.
And just like that, Romeo and Juliet will never be the same.
So
and oops, clever. He did it again.
It's so clever. The way the songs, they don't change the lyrics. The songs brilliantly are they arrange to tell this story and support the story. I've seen it now 4 times. I haven't seen it in a while. And I was so struck by this. Yes, James. I was so struck.
You saw it 4 times?
Yeah.
With who? Why?
I will, if it's the way we have to do this, I will take you.
Well, I'll believe it when I see it because I couldn't even get you to go to the Getty. I couldn't even get you to go to the sorry. Well, by God, all bets are off and we're friends again.
I'll give you one example. Backstreet Boys, I Want It That Way. Will Shakespeare saying, I want it that way to his wife, saying he won't do the ending she wants. Wife gets really cross. They have a big fight because she's fed up of being put in a box and unrecognized. He says sorry, and he sings, I want Anne Hathaway. The genius. Shakespeare's wife was called Anne Hathaway. James.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
My 2 cents is I saw it, and because Fenton loved it so much, I couldn't quite get to that level. I will say that as jukebox musicals goes, it's super clever and it definitely cut above the best. And what I enjoyed the most was the audience was filled with young, eager people. And anytime theater can attract young people and they can fall in love with the magic of theater, I think it's a big, huge
success.
So
this is better than the Go-Go's jukebox musical.
There's no comparison.
I'm not getting in the middle of this one, you guys.
Well, I have a trivia question.
All right, let's have it.
Who is the number one songwriter of all time?
Which songwriters had the most number ones? Yeah. Bear in mind, I'll give you a clue, that Max Martin is number 2. We'll have the answer for you right after the break here on the Wow Report.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome back to Wow Report. Fenton here with Tom, James. I can't tell if James's face is just hanging open.
No. I'm trying to think very hard. I'm trying to think very hard about this trivia question.
Well, Blake, give it to us.
Yeah. Who is the songwriter with the most number ones of all time? And hint,
I know Tom is going to know this. I'm going to know Tom is going to know this. I'm either going to say it's Barry Manilow, Neil Sedaka, or Carol Blair Sager.
That's 3 guesses.
I get 3 guesses because I know Tom is going to get it. So, okay, Fenton, what do you say?
I don't think I am, because I think it's going to be a Max Martin peer, and it's going to be Newark, but I only know my old thing. So I would say I want it to be Irving Berlin, but I'm going to say it's Barry Gibb.
I want to say it's Henry Mancini.
Like that.
I will say, because I came up with the question, that it is Paul McCartney.
Oh.
And then for a bonus point, who's number 3? So number 1 is Paul McCartney. Number 2 is Max Martin. Who's number 3?
Taylor Swift.
Carol Blair Sager.
Henry Mancini.
John Lennon.
Oh, that makes sense. You set that up for us. You set that up.
And by the way, I'll just say Max Martin is also the producer of Taylor Swift's new album that is coming out, The Life of a Showgirl.
So it's just a beautiful patchwork here.
It is. Look for the Easter eggs. All right. We're counting down the top 10 things of the week that made us go, wow. We've reached number 4. Tom.
Number 4.
It's Casey Kasem's American Top 40 Countdown on 70s on 70. And the year is the same week as this week. The year 1975, 50 years ago. Number 16, second week on the chart. That's a really big jump. Was Please, Mr. Please, Don't Play B-17 by Olivia Newton-John, who was just coming off her number 1, Have You Never Been Mellow? It's just like, oh my God, I'm 12 years old. This is my brain became wired and forever wired this way. On and on. Great song. You know, what's number 1? We'll find out. Number 2, I've been cheated, been mistreated. When will I be loved? Linda Ronstadt, one of her early number 1s, not the first, but early. And then number 1 for the second week in a row, Love will keep us together.
Captain and Tenille.
You me, babe, whenever. Those are 3 of my favorite artists of all time. And yes, I still put the Captain Tenille on it's Diana Ross, the other one. I love the Captain Tenille. And you had to be alive in 1975 before they had their TV show, before they did Muskrat Love, before they did things that kind of made them seem hokey. They were the moment. That's the Captain's arrangements.
Well, now, Tom, I have a feeling your 10-year-old thought it was the moment, but they were a little hokey.
I think you're missing the premise. Before they became hokey in 1975, on this weekend in 1975, 50 years ago, they were the moment. You didn't know. Everyone thought she was like an R&B singer because of that voice. Love, we will keep us. And the Captain had his arrangements. What he did with keyboards and synthesizers, it has since been surpassed, whatever. But in 1975, that
you're not remembering that she had that hairdo that was, and I'm sorry, and Jillian had it, and Dorothy Hamill had it.
After her.
But it was a horrible hairdo in retrospect. It really was.
I would say that the 80% of American women who were alive in 1975.
My mom had it. Bless her heart. My mom had it.
Disagree with you.
The Bonnie Franklin, yes, but it really was, in retrospect, looking at it, it was a horrible hairdo.
Well, my assignment to everyone, including James Saint, Doubter James, is to listen to, because you know how I told you I've been listening to full albums to find like 45 minutes release. Listen to Song of Joy, the Captain Tenille's second album, which has Muskrat Love, Lonely Night Angel face, and it has Shop Around. And listen
You
to
better shop around. That is
it has influences by Elton John, Stevie Wonder, and the Captain Tenille, and a little Boogie Woogie. Song of Joy. That's my assignment.
All right. Well, that's thematic. I'm going to have to rip you from 1975 back to the present. James, number 3.
Number 3.
There's been a scandal in the Norwegian royal family that I want to tell you what's going on because it's rocking Europe as we speak. The son of Norway's crown princess Mette-Marit. His name is Marius Borg Høyben, something or other. And he's been arrested. He's been investigated for suspicion of assaulting his girlfriend, in addition to 32 counts, 4 counts of rape, including 7 counts of violence, disturbing the peace, vandalism, violating a restraining order against a former partner. He's also been charged with filming the genitals of a number of women who did not know or consent. I don't know how you even do that. The maximum penalty for these is 100 years. In a public statement, he said that he has been under the influence of alcohol and cocaine and has been suffering mental problems that he's been struggling with for quite some time. That's his excuse. He was propelled into the spotlight when his mother remarried Norway's crown prince and then went on to have 2 children, his step-siblings, Princess Ingrid Alexandra and Prince Xavier Mandala. So he's not royal himself, but his whole family is, which I am sure sort of fucks with you if everyone in your family is royal and you are not. Not that I feel sorry for this gentleman, but he does seem to be very troubled.
Well, that's a horrible story. Drugs and alcohol and addiction are an excuse, but they can be a reason. You know what I'm saying? It's not an excuse, but it can be a reason. It's among us all. You know, it can ruin anyone's life. I hope he gets help. I hope there's some healing there. That's a tough one. And the victims, of course, horrible.
Number 2.
Number 2.
I went to Televerse, which is thrown by the Television Academy.
Yes.
And
it's a new thing, right?
Yeah, it's a new thing. It's kind of like, it reminded me of kind of like our first DragCon ever. Not really on the floor of DragCon, but like more the panels of DragCon. Because this is more about panels and, you know, like TV show casts get together or reunions. They had a Bones reunion. They had a Traitors panel where they revealed that the Traitors is going to do a civilian season now. There's going to be two seasons per year, a celebrity and a civilian. And it was at the JW Marriott downtown, which is right by LA Live.
Because to me, the word Televerse sounds like a GMC SUV.
It does. Or it sounds like yes.
So my favorite part, I went to a couple of these panels. You signed up for them and you went. I went to Music Supervision, which was supervisors from like a woman who did most of HBO's stuff, like the first season of White Lotus. And then there was the woman who does FX's, like the new Alien show with all the hard rock songs. That was really interesting because I always wanted to be a music supervisor growing up.
I did not know that.
You did? Yeah. That or a music video producer, just to put
we all wanted to be. Yes, sure.
Put scenes to music was always my thing. Like I would listen to music and just be like, "Oh, this would be good with."
I wanted to be a music video vixen. Yeah, I wanted to be. I wanted to be dancing on a car top in my bikini.
Like Tawny Katane.
Fenton realized all of your Fenton, by the way, and Randy, as the Pop-Tarts, realized all of your dreams because they were.
Darling, I was in music videos.
They directed music videos. They produced music videos. So Fenton is your idol.
They used me in a bikini and a car top, though. So that dream still needs to be realized.
Not yet.
Oh my God, that's the grand finale. They were all just like, we don't get paid enough and there's no union. So I was kind of like, well, I guess that's not going to be my second career. So I went to the voice acting panel and it had Bob Bergen, who does like Porky Pig and a lot of the Looney Tunes stuff.
Yeah.
Maurice LaMarche, who does lots of Futurama.
Pinky the Brain. Yes, he's
And
the brain.
the brain,
Sure. He
yes.
does the Orson Welles and yeah, sure.
Yeah, Debbie Derryberry, who is from The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, and then E.G. Daily.
Oh, the legend that is E.G. Daily. Yes, from Pee-wee's Herman and Pee-wee's Big House.
And she is the voice of Tommy from Rugrats.
Oh, sure.
So it was really interesting to talk. The main thing
How
I
does
took
E.G.
away,
Daily look? Because she was such a little beauty. She's such a
she
cutie.
looks just the same.
And were they just talking in funny voices the whole time?
A lot of the time. They talked about how they would watch cartoons as kids and like repeat it back and try to learn the voices. But the most interesting thing to me about it was that they said that they spent most of their time auditioning. Like Bob said he would go like be booked for things and he'd be like, did I audition for this? Like you do 30 to 60 auditions a week. So you have to just be into like, you have to love auditioning, which I don't know if I could do that either. So I think you're stuck with me as long as you can, Fenton.
Blake,
as long as you don't have.
Blake,
funny
if
because
you haven't learned it by watching this show, life is a rehearsal. Life.
Yeah.
But I watch a lot of Robot Chicken on Adult Swim, and I always find myself thinking, could I do all the because Seth Green will do like 20 voices per episode, and you're thinking like, how do you manage to come up with 20 different voices every? I mean, they are amazing. They always shock and awe me the talent that they have.
I know. I thought I might have a future in it, but after listening to this panel, I don't think it's way more involved than you think it would be. And Tom E.G. Daily was also in Valley Girl, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Good call.
All right. Let's take one more break. And when we come back, the number one thing this week that made us go,
Wow.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
welcome back. We've been counting down the top 10 things of the week that made us go wow. Tom is here, James is here, Blake is here, and we've reached number one.
Number one.
Newsom, Gavin Newsom, has sort of drunk some secret potion or something and just started trolling Trump in the most incredible ways. I mean, I wonder if it's sort of South Park inspired or something. But basically, you have to have been under a rock if you haven't seen them. They're all uppercase caps, and he just mirrors perfectly Trump's ridiculous free association, incoherent, egocentric, cruel, ludicrous babble, ending them with my favorite tagline, "Thank you for your attention to this matter." There are so many good ones, right?
Hard to keep. We're flooded with them in the best way possible. There's the visuals too, where they, how Trump always puts himself in Superman's body and that kind of thing. And some of them I think are Gavin Newsom created, and some of them I think are sort of like fan art. But my favorite one has Gavin just looking like ripped, like a superhero, and muscled up, and he's pushing a wheelchair with a very dowdy, realistic looking orange-faced Trump. And it's just, I don't know, it's sort of, I love when satire says everything, and it's ridiculousness.
What the cherry on top here is that MAGA is blowing their minds, and they're having meltdowns. They're crashing out left and right because they don't quite understand. They're like, this is ridiculous. Nobody talks like that, not realizing that he's imitating their leader.
That's what I do. I mean, the willful refusal to see themselves and recognize is extraordinary. There was someone on Fox saying, Dana Perino, whoever she is, was like, if I were his wife, I would say, stop making a fool of yourself. He's got a big job. She's saying he's got a big job as governor of California.
And if you understand that he's the president, why is he doing it? Yes.
And then I love it. And then Gavin Newsom responded and said, Dana Ding Dong Perino.
Yes, I love that. I mean, this on top of Gavin going head to head and toe to toe with the gerrymandering in Texas.
Yes.
I don't know where it ends.
The other thing that they aren't getting either. They're like, well, California, you can't do that. That's illegal. Well, they were doing it because Texas. Well, it's okay for Texas to do it.
They know what they're saying. They just
know what they're doing. Yes.
They just put out the other fake truth. But, someone's got to fight. and you got to fight eye for eye, tooth for tooth right now. I'm sorry to
it's what's working right now, but is it can it sustain itself?
I don't know, but it makes us happy this week, right?
No, more
joy of joy, and I love the fact
to do it.
Do we want Gavin as the next president?
I'm not making that decision today. I'm not making that decision today.
Right.
Okay.
But I don't want to cast doubt on the idea. And I also think other commendable thing is just the sheer volume of stuff. It's not like one or two posts. It is like a bombardment. And it's like, it's not just him doing them. People have caught on and are loving it. And it's
everybody starts doing it. And for a while, for about 4 or 5 days, almost 4 or 5 days, the president was not doing all caps, and we like
he's back to caps. He's back to caps
again. He's back to caps again. He just can't stop himself.
But everybody needs to start doing it because all of them do it. So, like Tom says, fight fire with fire.
Yeah, and you know, we have Jasmine Crockett, and we have there have been a bunch of other people lately who have been fighting fire with fire. And
Gavin Newsom said, look, you know, fine, come for me about that, but how have we allowed the normalization of his tweets, says Gavin, true social posts over the course of the last many years to go without similar scrutiny and notice? He also said, I think he said, you know, like, I've changed. The facts have changed, and we need to change too. And
it's true. It's true.
Yeah. So
the days of when they go low, we go high are gone. We just can't.
I always said when someone goes low, you've got to go lower.
Yeah. It's sad but true.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your attention to this matter. It's been a great show. Same time, same place next week. Until then, go out and do something that makes the world go
wow.